Brought to you by GatewayCitySavers.com.
101ESPN.com presents the Redbird Report.
This upcoming next few weeks for the St. Louis Cardinals is a huge time for them because really for the first time, they're facing some incredible adversity through something that you cannot plan for, and that is injuries. We already know that Brad Penny is going to be on the disabled list for at least the next couple weeks and maybe even a couple more weeks after that. And then there's the uncertainty of Kyle Lohse, who is now really in a bad way starting to feel that sensation in his forearm that put him on the disabled list twice in 2009. So really, where do the Cardinals go from here? They're going to have to go back to AAA Memphis, and they're going to have to bring up at least one, maybe even two starters. B.J. Walters is already up here, and we envision he'll fill one of those spots in the rotation. But other than that, could be Lance Lynn, could be Adam Ottavino, maybe the lefty Evan McLean. But no matter how the Cardinals go about it, they have got to find a way to keep their heads above water and remain competitive, because 40% of their starting rotation is going to be out for at least probably the next couple weeks, and it could be a lot longer. The Cardinals really don't know what they're dealing with in Kyle Lohse at the moment, and this is something that is the worst case scenario where, okay, he has the injury last year, he rests it all offseason, and now he comes back in less than 2 months into the season. It's coming back? So that really raises the question of if it ever was totally healed in the first place. So how the Cardinals get through these next few weeks is going to be critical, because they elected to go with more prospects in AAA Memphis in their starting rotation than with those 6-year free agent types, the guys that do have experience in the major leagues as far as starting is concerned. They had one, and that was Rich Hill, and he kind of is blown up in their face. But other than that, they went with all youngsters. P.J. Walters, among everybody else in the starting rotation, he has the most major league experience, and he only threw a handful of innings last year in 2009. Like I mentioned, Lance Lynn, he was a supplemental first-round pick a couple of years ago, flew up the system, but he's somebody who, again, doesn't have any major league experience. He's a youngster. He was a big body. He's 6'5", well over 200 pounds, closer to 250 actually, and he's someone who is very comparable to Jeff Suppan, where he's going to chew up a lot of innings, but he's not going to dominate really for those innings. You make a decision at the beginning of a year if you want to go more experience in the minors, where you have more, I guess, protection if you do have those injuries in the majors, or can you go with those prospects where you're using AAA to give those prospects exposure and experience that they normally would not get if you kept them down in AA? It's a decision that teams have to make. The Cardinals elected to go younger, and right now they are paying for that, because now that they have two major injuries in their starting rotation, they have to dip down into that inexperience in Memphis and use them in the major leagues even before they're ready.